So we actually do have hand tools, as you see, and we always say you can do our cuts using hand tools. So
there we are demonstrating it.
We're not hypocritical. Now, granted, we also say it will be much faster with power tools, right?
Yeah.
And as you can see, it is. So here we are in the deck that we built a few weeks ago. Not the deck, the cover.
We're
on the deck, and we built the cover a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And today we're going to make it more complete, you know. Mm-hmm. One of the things, as you can see, when we connected the columns, when we expanded them, we need to caulk them and we need to paint the columns and so forth, right? Mm-hmm. But first we're going to start by having to move things, because
there's quite a few things on the deck.
There are a lot of things on the deck, but we've been using the deck, which is the good thing, I think. Mm-hmm. So stick around. We're going to talk about prepping and painting and show you the result. While nobody likes cleaning, it is important that you work in a safe environment without any trip hazards or anything else that can jeopardize your safety. So it is important to do a very good cleanup job. So in addition to cleaning everything you don't need from the deck, the next step will be to provide some ventilation, air movement, because North Carolina, right?
Right.
And we've used that before outside, and this is a very, very good fun, right? We're very happy to have it.
And it isn't because we're in an enclosed space and like fumes for the paint, it's because of the humidity and bugs.
Yeah. And we do have a bug zapper plugged in, so I don't know if you need to.
There we are.
If you attract mosquitoes the way Mrs. DIY does, those devices are very, very effective, but be sure not to put them very close to you because they do tend to attract bugs to kill them. So we are ready now to start doing more of the prep. We were ready to prep.
Right.
Alrighty.
We're prepped to prep.
So today we're going to finish our deck and take it in a little more finished state. We're not going to be done yet. We still have to paint the whole deck and put screens up, right? But that will be the end of this process, the screening. So today we're going to show you painting process, which everyone can do. It is not a difficult process, and we're going to show you how we finish the door with what I call door stops. I don't know what they're called, but they prevent the door from overextending, right? Mm-hmm. And just to remind everyone, everything you see here, the framing and everything is from 2x4s, and the door itself is from 2x4s.
And a couple of 2x6s.
The door? Oh yeah, you're right. And a piece of 2 or 2x6s. So stick around. We're going to show you how to transform your own deck and save money in the process. Burning is a very effective way to get rid of material that will not clog your trash cans and will allow you to have much more space much faster. So we utilize burning a lot, especially for cardboards and things like that. And here are some visitors we'll be having. These frogs, I've been seeing them around for a long time, but we didn't realize they were actually living here. They've taken a residence behind a couple of pieces of wood we had, which is a good reminder. You shouldn't have wood on your deck up in the woods because little creatures will inhabit them, right?
Right.
Excellent.
So they're gonna make a hasty exodus.
I really don't know how.
As we start blowing off the deck, I think.
Okay. A leaf blower is the best device to get rid of loose material from your deck or any other exterior surface. Sometimes we actually take it on the roof to get rid of little leaves or any other material like small branches on the roof. It is much safer and much faster and definitely much easier than using a broom or any other device. Again, this does not clean fully every little particle, but it gets quickly rid of any small particles, leaves, little twigs, or any other loose particles that are light enough to be thrown away. You can see here what a good job it does. Did you see the frogs?
Nope. Did they jump?
They jumped, they fell, I don't know exactly. This is the lazy sweeping method, right?
Uh-huh. So you're gonna have to come outside on the outer edge too, because it just...
What?
You have to come outside because when you blow it off from the deck, it just catches here.
That's okay.
both of our friends, there's one and there's one.
They were evicted.
There and there, they were evicted. We're not sure whether they jumped or just got blown off, but they're okay in the damp leaves down here below the deck.
The caked on dirt would be easily removed with our pressure washer. As you can see, however, the leaf blower does an amazing job with all the loose stuff. So start with a leaf blower and will make your pressure washer work so much easier and faster in the end. So the next step is we're going to use painter's tape to create a line of where we're going to stop the painting. This is what we're thinking at the moment. We might change our mind, but that's the fun thing with paint, right? We can paint over it if we change our mind.
Right.
So we'll go around every pose and put painter's tape.
Right.
A high velocity fan like the one we're using is a great tool when you're working outside in very hot weather. Today is 85 to 90 degrees outside, and this fan really helps us a lot by keeping us cool even on that scorching heat. Of course the rooftop did a great job assisting with that, but you can see our thermometer reading 30 degrees Celsius or almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit, about 87 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes it a very, very hot day to work outside, unbearable without a roof. And of course, as always, use the tools we have. Here, instead of building a ladder, we have a bench we made some time ago. I built actually last summer, right? And it is a beautiful platform for what we're doing, right? So why not use it? Whenever you're painting, preparation is very important, right?
Yes, it is.
Those are not fun tasks that Elpida is now doing, but they are necessary for a good result. When using painter's tape outdoors, it is rather important that you remove the tape as soon as you stop painting, because if you leave it, the outside environment tends to make the painter's tape stick and actually cause damage and make it very difficult to remove. So as soon as you're done painting, remove the tape for great results. Saying Mrs. DIY.
Yes, it is. That's 5 gallons.
5 gallons.
5 gallons.
Alright, and we just stirred it, but we just got it, so it didn't need a lot of stirring. And the fun part will be putting it in smaller containers.
Right.
So we are ready to start the transformation. And here we are at our door, and we're going to start painting. We are also changing color, so this is not a mistake. We decided to change the color. And the magic of color, right?
Yep.
If you have to paint a large area like we do, make sure to break it to different days. We start with high areas, the posts and the areas above the deck, and when we're done, we're going to do the decking last, so it will make it easier. This will protect the door from the elements, even though it doesn't really get wet. Sometimes the rain gets to it, right? This will take a while, so we're going to show it to you when it's finished. We have gone around and put caulking around all the edges where the two 4x4s connect, and that is to protect the water from entering the 4x4 and eventually rotting it. That, and along with the paint over it, should provide a very good protection. It is essentially waterproof areas where two pieces of wood coming together, because rain has a tendency to just seep in and will damage your wood over time. Masking the hardware is another tedious but necessary step to get a good finish, right?
Yep.
And if you have patience, which Elpida does but I do not, that is the job for you. This is not very exciting, but it is essential for a good outcome. So take your time and make sure that you're completing this process. You might regret volunteering for this, huh?
No.
If you do a good job here, it will show with amazing results in the end. So while not exciting, it's very important to do. A small roller is the ideal tool for this, for a 4x4 or for a deck in general, and it does a much better job than a brush will do, so we prefer to use rollers. We use brush to cut in smaller areas, but other than that, rollers is our preferred instrument.
Am I going over that?
Yeah, all the way to the... Do not be discouraged if your first coat does not look really good. It is not uncommon for stain or paint or even deck stain to look really bad on the first try. More than one coat is usually necessary. I mean, we can even do the tops if she wants, I don't know. Also, a transition between unpainted wood and painted wood will yield a different color. That is normal, will be taken care of by a second coat. Pretty good, huh?
I think it'll need another coat, but yeah. Okay. So we're gonna paint the top of the door as well, and the reason is for waterproofing, to protect it from any sort of dampness or rain or anything that could come in from the side, rather than looks. Obviously you can't see up there, but we want to continue to protect the door and not let the water come in from the top and rot it all the way through.
Exactly.
So we're going to stop to finish the framing of the door, and we need door stops. I don't really know what they're called, right? So we need square pieces, 2 by 2 approximately. So we have a 2 by 4. We used it to calculate the width, which is really 1.5. So our 2 by 2 will be 1.5 by 1.5.
Right.
Typical construction, right? So we're going to cut this. We're going to get all the pieces out of this one 2 by, and we are going to finish that process and be back with you. Plus,
We're flush and we're recording.
excellent. And for the first time ever, not true, but we're using hand tools. Okay. Take these away.
And what are we sawing?
I don't know what they're called. They are door stops. Well, they're not door stops, but
It's part of the door jamb. It's the thing that stops the door from swinging out too far.
right.
Whatever that's called.
I call it a door stop. And why we're using this tool? Why we're not using power tools?
Because the length of the 8-foot board is not going to fit in the space we have with our chop saw, so we're making use of the hand tools.
Right. And a little cardio.
Yeah.
Why is binding always this?
I don't know.
So we actually do have hand tools, as you see, and we always say you can do our cuts using hand tools. So
There we are demonstrating it.
we're not hypocritical. Now, granted, we also say it will be much faster with power tools, right?
Yeah.
And as you can see, it is. No, you're okay. So around the door, we're going to put what we call a door stop. I don't know the proper name, but it exists in every door, right? So part of doing that is we're going to close the door. I think this part is called the jump. I'm not 100% sure, and I could not find definitively on the internet. There seem to be different opinions and names for it, but to the best of my knowledge, this is actually the jump. I still call it a door stop because that's what it does. It holds the door within the frame.
So the top of the table has gotten quite dirty between pollen and the tree debris and who knows what all else, but starting with just a solution of vinegar and water. And as you can see, it's working pretty good to take the majority of this off.
It was really dirty.
Yep.
You cannot see the red.
I can see the red.
The camera cannot.
Red.
As you can see, it did not get any cooler throughout the day. A very hot day. So until today, we thought that wood was expensive. And what happened today, Mrs. Dayway?
Paint.
We bought paint.
Actually, it's deck stain, but
Same thing.
nevertheless.
$200 for 5 gallons, right?
Yep.
That is expensive, friends. And now we're just waiting for it to dry, so it's not really fun either. Do not buy inexpensive exterior paint or stain. You will regret it. Another hot North Carolina day, and we are done for today. If you want to look around for a little bit. With all the necessary North Carolina attachments. This is a bug zapper. You're not pointing at a bug zapper.
You're calling it the wrong thing.
What is it called?
Your bug squatter.
It's a zapper, it's not a squatter.
It's a squatter. Anyway.
And here is our...
You can see the posts have been painted. You can see where we had taped off earlier. Made a pretty clean line.
And the door. And Elpida gave you a whiplash. We apologize for that. Once again, I've been framed. All right, ladies. This is a project of patience, right?
Uh-huh.
You have to wait for paint to dry. You have to wait for caulking to dry. Everything has to dry, right?
Yeah.
Not just glue. Apparently paint has to dry too. This was very straightforward. Anyone can do that, right?
Yeah.
And this was really episode 2 of our remaking a plain deck into a 3-season porch, covered porch, right? So the next steps will be to power wash the deck area and repaint all the areas we didn't paint today with the right color.
So today's objective was to get the untreated pieces of wood
Correct.
painted so they are protected from the elements, and then the next step is to clean off the deck and then paint the rest of the deck to match.
And then will be to put screen everywhere. But that is for another episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, stop taking pictures of the dog.
Sorry, they've been our watchers all day.
We hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, give us a thumbs up. If you did, hit that button twice, share, like, subscribe. Let us know what else you might want to see in our future episodes. So from Professor DIY, Mrs. DIY and Elpida, let's build something together.